The Alan Gray Orbis Foundation taught me to have a broader perspective, to think about what kind of legacy I'd like to leave. They made me dig deep into my soul and figure out what's my life purpose and how I want to make South Africa a better place. It's also made me more conscious of how powerful entrepreneurship can be as a tool to solve some of the most difficult challenges that we face. So Deep Medical Therapeutics was founded in 2018. We offer pathology services, and our aim is really to make pathology services more accessible and affordable for Africans. In Africa and also in South Africa, we have the highest rate of STIs, and the challenge is that the cost is extremely high, especially if you're in the private sector, which limits the amount of people that can actually access these tests. So the idea behind what we're doing is to make the tests more affordable so that people can know their status. I want Africa to really be able to thrive, have access to the best clinics, have access to the best medication, the best diagnostic services. I definitely love the work that I do. It's my life passion. I'm really passionate about Africa, making a positive impact. And I think that's also what, the Alan Gray Orbis Foundation really engraved in us, to say, how do we use our skills, knowledge, and resources to make Africa a better place? And I'm really going to just dedicate my life to making sure that by the time that I leave this place, that Africa is in a better place in terms of healthcare.
My journey to being an Alan Gray Fellow was an interesting one, because I was at a careers fair in Matric. And I think the Alan Gray guys must have had a very big stand, a South Africa flag, and probably some good free things that, as a Matric, I got quite excited by. And just going to speak with them and understanding what they were trying to achieve through their scholarship, really about saying, how do we support the change agents for South Africa's future? And that really got me excited.
The Alan Gray Orbis Foundation was founded in 2005 by the late Alan Gray. His vision was to nurture entrepreneurial potential, not just in Southern Africa, but on our continent. Within the Alan Gray Orbis Foundation, we focus on the development of an entrepreneurial mindset. And so we have a curriculum, an entrepreneurship, very bespoke curriculum. You become more innovative, problem-solving, resilient, and the contribution that you will make as an entrepreneur becomes really, really important.
Education is the most powerful tool you can use to change your economic circumstance. And so Go One exists to help people unlock their positive potential through a love for learning. We do that by our technology platform, which is effectively an aggregator of short-form courses and learning materials into one ecosystem. You can think of us like a Spotify for corporate and professional learning. I think the beauty of what the Alan Gray community brings is ecosystem. So one is you find yourself in a community of practice with peers who are particularly smart, very ambitious, but also have a vision for where they want to contribute to the country as a whole. Alan Gray is a very generous scholarship, but I think it's beyond the money they provide for your studies. I think just the ability to help sharpen your entrepreneurial lens. When it comes to building business, I appreciate that building something big versus building something small takes the same amount of effort. You're still going to assist other things throughout the night. So you might as well do something bigger and at scale to be able to achieve your objective. Often I get asked, how have you been able to grow a business to be north of $1 billion and to scale across 14 countries? And the essence is our people. We have a world-class team of people that are passionate about human capital development. I think that's our secret power.
We are all, as Africa, actually reliant on importation of biotechnology products. We wanted to see how we can close that gap. We started to do our own enzymes that are used in molecular diagnostics. My name is Daniel Ndima. I'm the CEO of K-Bio. If you are unable to diagnose people earlier, quicker, smoothly, you then run a risk of having undiagnosed diseases and even people dying without being diagnosed. So these critical tools are important for making sure that we've got access to diagnostic tools as a country, but more importantly as a continent. Helping people to diagnose diseases, to be able to provide therapeutics so that people can get well and go on with their lives. We still remain the only company on the continent that developed these critical tools. When I was doing first year, I saw an opportunity to apply for Alan Gray Orbis Foundation scholarship. For me, it was how do I converge entrepreneur mindset with science. I think the program, most importantly, is being able to help you to push yourself organically to achieve certain things that you never thought you could achieve. We became the first African company to develop a COVID test kit because everything else was imported. So that's significant for us because we existed as a company that wanted to ensure that we localize solutions to reduce costs associated with importation. The price got reduced and we didn't have backlogs after that. I think the work that we're doing has had real impact in many people's lives. My purpose is to serve. I ventured into science because I wanted to see how I can assist to sustain life, ensuring that I'm able to produce quality that can serve mankind.
So creating impact and changing lives, there's nothing more powerful than that. And often we want to measure social impact when there's huge change. But for me, social impact is when you're giving somebody access to an opportunity that they may never have had.
We can't live without water. We have to use water for cooking. We constantly have to drink water. Water is life. I have a grandfather who's taking medication. He has to drink his pills in the morning and in the afternoon. Around Mabopane, water is a bit of a problem. In the morning, we don't have water at all. When the water comes back, it's not that clean. Oasis water, it's better. It's very tasty. It's super, super clean.
Several parts of Gauteng have been without water since Mandan townships like Mabopane and Soshanguve are hardest hit.
I started connecting with Oasis Water in 2016. That's when I opened my first outlet. It's not actually only about making money for yourself. Besides creating a job, you are also addressing a need. I have 2 franchises, Oasis Mokopong and Oasis Tibani. We currently have 5 permanent people.
Oasis as a group is nearing 500 retail points now. We're investing in township economies. In a network, we already have more than 1,500 employees.
SMEs really are the cornerstone of our economy, but ironically, they are the ones that really struggle to access funding. So our work in the last 10 years has always been to facilitate that access to funding so that they are able to grow and that they are able to create and preserve jobs with the intention of creating a much more inclusive society where all people are able to participate and to contribute in a meaningful way. We've used the invested capital really to support as many SMEs as we possibly can.
As ek die oggend opstaan, dan as ek so ek wil by my mense kom, sodat ek hulle weer kan wys wat se werk ons gaan doen. En ek werk baie lekker. Die gedeelte, dis die tros die en die ander gedeelte die ene, dis die anker. Ek so ons moet hom afhaal. Ek is 'n voorman op die plaas, ek het eintlik maar groot geword in die Wanger. Ek het al my kennis wat ek daar opgetel.
This is precision farming. The grapes from here goes to about 7 different countries. Our vision for this farm is to make it the best stable grape unit in South Africa. The farm's name is Lac du Soleil. We started it up in 2015.
Capital Harvest is a niche agriculture finance company focused solely on agriculture finance, helping projects such as this one to get off the ground. This was a greenfields project, which made it a bit more difficult and more tricky.
Any development like this is risky, so it was really a leap of faith that we took.
For us, they ticked all the right boxes. They were knowledgeable, they are predominantly black-owned, and we focus strongly on transformation finance and development finance. They incentivize their workers and upskill them and get them in management positions. We had to approach a couple of funders, of which Sanlam was one. They came and did a due diligence, and they liked what they saw.
We actually started the Resilient Investment Fund about 8 years ago now. We really want to be able to support entrepreneurs that struggle even more within this market, particularly women-owned businesses or black-owned businesses.
Agriculture in general is a great job creator, especially in export fruit. The fruit needs to be of excellent quality, so you always need hand labor.
Toe ek hier op die plaas gekom het, was hier maar baie min mense. Ons is nou so 65 permanente mense, maar vir die hele pakseisoen moet ons so 400 mense wees. As daar nie iemand in die huis is wat werk nie, dan is alles maar deur mekaar in die huis. So dat die al baie huisgesinne.
They've got 60 hectares of excellent yielding grapes. They have an excellent track record in terms of their social and environmental responsibility. There was nothing here, and what's standing here today, it gives you kind of a thrill.
We've worked within this market for 10 years, and our intention really has always been to support the real economy. It's always been to facilitate that access to funding so that they are able to grow and that they are able to create and preserve jobs for the long term.
Our relationship with Sanlam started during hard lockdown. We had to find a funder that would support us to go and replicate what we're doing in South Africa and the rest of Africa. We're doing more than 200 million litres a year already. We've created over 100 jobs during that pandemic, and a significant part of the rollout was funded through the Sanlam facility.
I love my job. I'm really passionate about SMEs and the role that they have to play in our economy. And ultimately, what does that mean for us? It really means that we want to be able to create a much more sustainable society where everyone is able to participate and to thrive in a meaningful way.
We need to change the past. Women in mining are relevant. I was mostly asked by males, why don't you do catering or cleaning? And I told them, why should I do catering and cleaning when I can do what you are doing? Kgolaotswe Mining Services is predominantly an engineering maintenance company. I started in 2014 with 1 employee. And right now we have 197 employees in Sibanye who are doing scaffold, engineering maintenance, construction, and civil works. We also supply the mines with skilled labor like artisans, miners. My village is surrounded by more than 5 mining houses. We are kind of a hub of platinum mines. Sibanye is the main contributor to my community. I was working for Sibanye as an HR manager, and since I'm the child of the soil, I decided why go far when I can start here. If you can show people that you can move from where you started to where you want to be, that is what I'm doing for my community as well. Even the guys who started by looking after the cattle are now working at the mine. We are developing them to be what they're supposed to be or who they want to be. We work in very, very harsh conditions because it wasn't easy for me to put women in our hardcore positions in the mine. I made sure that women are also represented in Kgolaotswe Mining Services. So my admin department is run by women. My operations manager, my business development manager, and my safety officer is also a woman. So we are doing our part when it comes to women in mining. And I'm also a woman.
We have been deliberate in making sure that we bring women into our supply chain. We're pleased with the progress that she has made in her labor management business. And the fact that she's a former mine worker shows that her passion has now been realized post-employment as an entrepreneur. And she's doing very well in that area because she does have relevant experience in mine recruitment.
We employ everyone. We employ the locals. I make sure that my company is very diverse. And I also focus predominantly on skills transfer for the mines to actually absorb them from us and making sure that the generations to come are skilled and equipped to take over. I'm impacting positively into South Africa at large, the economy of the country. Makes me feel phenomenal. I am where I am right now because of the community of Sibanye. Those women who sit at the plants, at the shafts, plant managers who gave me opportunities, VPs who actually said, often say, let's hold your hand and let's move you from being good to being great. They were very supportive. I've just acquired a 5-year contract with Sibanye, which is fundamental, especially for a black woman who is local. Sibanye made me who I am today. I'm a proud product of Sibanye Stillwaters in Marikana,
This is where I come from. This is where my umbilical cord fell. And I'm what I am today because of them.
As Sibanye Stillwater, our vision is to create superior shared value for all our stakeholders. Local SMMEs are part of our wider stakeholder groupings, and our focus is ensuring that we include them in our supply chain, as well as give them opportunities to grow and participate in other supply chains within our operating regions. We are pleased that this year we are 10 years old. As we celebrate a decade of shared value, we want to highlight the impact that we have made to the people and the communities in and around our operations. We want to create opportunities where our local suppliers can be able to provide services that they are skilled at, that can enable them to grow. The Gege Group is but one example of the many companies that are included in our supply chain to provide essential services. Is providing landscaping services in and around our operations at Driefontein. This business does hire local people, and by getting value from Sibanye, he's now able to extend that value to other people in and around his community. Not only will he create jobs, but he'll have the much needed skill that he can pass on to other smaller SMEs.
My journey with Sibanye actually started with me envisioning myself working here while I was still at varsity. I used to travel past the mine quite a lot while I was doing my BCom. Eventually there was a tender that was advertised for the grass cutting and horticulture services. I then applied and prayed my socks off because at the time I knew nobody here. Fortunately for us, we got it. And that's how it started back in 2020. It's been a beautiful journey since. Since we started with Sibanye, our revenue has grown, over 200%. It came with a lot of discipline here with regards to handling finances and knowing what to do and having strategies for growth. We were an SMME once, so now we're officially a medium-sized enterprise. I think that would tell you the significance of the growth that we got from the contract that we had at Sibanye. And it has opened up a lot more opportunities with other mines and businesses. Small businesses give the opportunity for employment. If you look at Gege Group right now, we've got over 185 employees. We started out with 30, so the increase in the past 2.5 years is quite significant, and we are providing food and bread for families. It's something that I actually love. It's not a money-making scheme, rather something that I'm very passionate about. I like to see the fact that we're employing people, feeding families and providing a bit of change in some people's lives. I'm very passionate about being able to help and assist those that are in need. So it is a purpose that is bigger than yourself, in my opinion, and that's what keeps me going.
Sibanye Stillwater recognizes the fact that at some point, our operations will cease to exist, which is why we are working on what we call social closure plans and ensure that there's continued economic growth long after our operations have ceased to exist. Sibanye Stillwater has secured the services of Pakamani, which is a specialist company that provides capacity for SMMEs of any kind.
The Pakamani Business Development Program under Sibanye Stillwater, otherwise known as the Startup Program for Marikana, is an incubation program. The program itself, it consists of training and development. It also consists of mentoring, as well as financial assistance to qualifying SMMEs. The intention of the program itself is to capacitate and to grow SMMEs. Tsepo Madisanyane is one of the 2 shareholders of Icadot that is currently on the startup program. We've seen a sustainable growth in the company. From where we started with them to where we are now, it's been quite impressive.
Icadot is a 100 black-owned company. We are in an engineering industry, and we specifically specialize in mechanical work, electrical and instrumentation. And then we do maintenance, installation and repair. I saw this opportunity of a startup pitch program and then I applied for it. And then Sibanye incubated Icadot. They teach us the fundamentals of the business managerial skills. The business have improved since I have started with Pagamani. These programs are very important because a lot of young people, they've got that burning desire of starting a business, but then they don't have the skills. So this learning program, it gives us the knowledge and the skills on how to approach business ideas. Especially young people must just learn first. Learning is the key. Running a business and also learning at the same time, it's very time consuming. This hard work it's very much worth it because I started with 9 employees. Now I'm at 32. For me, knowing that I can employ other people, it makes me feel that I have achieved my very beginning goal. I wanted something huge. So I asked myself, what is the huge thing that I want? And I said, if I can change or have impact in the economy, then I would be happy. So yeah, employing people makes me proud. I'd say from high school, I've been using the same line. I can do it. And I did it. And the thing that I'm most proud of, I would say it's Icadot. Having it being successful, I'm so proud of Icadot because I started with nothing. When I sit down and look at from where I come from with Icadot, I sometimes cry. But I don't show people that I cry. I cry alone.